else can they put up here as underdogs against France? France reverting to the team which beat Peru in their second game. Hugo Lloris, one of 6 players rested against Denmark, a return here. Paul Pogba back as well. Only 4 men, Varane, Hernandez, Conte and Griezmann have started every game in Russia. Some wondered whether Nabil Fekir might come into the side with his craft, but he stays on the bench. Olivier Giroud up front again. Now of Chelsea, of course. The speed of Mbappe will be important, as well as Griezmann's predatory instincts. Matuidi might tuck in a bit to help deal with Messi. Referee is the well-regarded Aliganzi Bagimanti of Iran. Messi on the right. Hugo Lloris, the Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper. Massimiliano Irati in charge of the video assistant refereeing operation. Being used for the first time in the knockout stage, of course. Here Argentina make only 1 change from their dramatic late win over Nigeria, giving Christian Pavone of Boca Juniors his first start of the tournament, and dropping Gonzalo Higuain again. 4 of the team you're looking at there played in the final 4 years ago. Messi, Javier Mascherano, Enzo Perez and Marcos Rojo. Messi, by the way, is one of 5 Argentina players within one yellow card of picking up a suspension, so could miss the quarter-final if things were to go awry today. Could be a shootout between 2 of the world's great strikers. Antoine Griezmann, who's declared he's staying with Atletico Madrid, despite all the speculation of a move to Barcelona, where he might have been playing with this man, Lionel Messi, but that won't be. Messi, who's never scored yet, remarkably, in the knockout stages of the World Cup in 7 games. That really is extraordinary, but neither has Cristiano Ronaldo. France to get us underway in their blue shirts here, in a confrontation of potentially epic proportions between 2 former champions. France have won it once, Argentina twice. An early challenge involving Griezmann. With Tagliafico, the elegant left back of Argentina, and getting a run in the side here. It's collected by Pogba. Mbappe lays it back to Pavard, who's taken over from Sidibe as the right back in this tournament. A late run along the rails from the Stuttgart man. Sidibe did get a run out against Denmark, but that was just to rest Pavard, who's back here along with several others. Here's Mbappe. To Pogba. Always so much expected of him, of course, at the heart of things. And Didier Deschamps, who captained France to World Cup glory in 1998. Can he do it as a coach as well? He's under a bit of pressure back home. Not everybody's a fan. And I think he needs to deliver something big with this team, having failed, of course, in the final of Euro 2016 against Portugal. Up towards Messi, his first involvement. Deschamps' quote was interesting yesterday. We will have to take, he put it, certain precautions. Nice way of putting it, to deal with Messi. Otamendi pulling it out for Argentina. Mercado in that right-back position. Very experienced, grizzled campaigner from Sevilla. He can play in the central defence as well. So Otamendi and Rojo have those roles tied up between them. Ball was given away, and then Pogba did the same. Maybe even a bit of nerves for these big-time players, and then Banega. He's fouled by Pogba. Has to watch his step. He's one of those players who's on a yellow card. Jorge Sampaoli, has he ridden out rumours of a mutiny in the camp? There were some stories that Messi and Mascherano had taken over picking the team even, which seems hard to credit. Here's Messi. Matuidi. The referee's going to have to take steps here if Messi's going to get the treatment from one French player after another. You have seen that in the past. Experienced. This would be the biggest appointment of his career to date, I'd suggest. Used to be a player himself, and his dad was a referee too. He's the man whose pass set up Messi for that wonderful goal against Nigeria. Can be an important player in the midfield. Banega can really pick a pass. There are other days where he just tends to go missing a little as well, though. It's important he's on a going day today. Looks like Messi's playing up front on his own with a five-man midfield behind him. Trying to get Di Maria in behind here. I wondered if he was going to take a first touch there, which would have taken him across the defender, but he chose not to do that, and it all comes to nothing. Rojo's challenge on Giroud. And rather wasted from Di Maria, whose only World Cup goal came at this stage 4 years ago against Switzerland. 118th minute it was. It was given away by Banega there. Mbappe's quick, but not that quick. Couldn't keep it in. Argentina, who've been struggling to find the right blend, masters of brinkmanship really in the qualification stage as well, where they needed a Messi hat-trick on the last day to make it through to the World Cup finals. And here they were within 4 minutes of going out the other night. So Manchester United's Marcos Rojo came up with a sublime finish that any striker would have been proud of. It was the ultimate get-out-of-jail card, that. Rojo on the ball now. Now Banega. Get the angle ball in behind for Pavone. First start of the tournament for him today, because they wanted an extra midfield player in there to deal with France. Well, it was the meat in the sandwich there. The exciting Kylian Mbappe. Mascherano's challenge made sure he was getting no further. Griezmann might fancy this. Pogba's hovering over it as well there. goals so far at this World Cup. A penalty awarded by the video assistant referee, or with the help of him anyway, in the first game against Australia. Griezmann, it's good, it's very good, and it rattles the crossbar, which is still shuddering from that. My goodness me. It really was a magnificent strike from Antoine Griezmann. And Titi. Griezmann again, will he come to life in the knockout stages? Hernandez forced his way into the side of this World Cup. Les Matuidi playing just in front of him. Could get a little congested in that midfield at times. Remember, this has to be settled one way or another today. If necessary, with extra time or the dreaded penalty shootout. Maybe not dreaded for all of you. If you're a neutral, you can look forward to it, I guess. Ricardo to lay it forward. Pavone. Perez down the line for Messi. Ideally likes to play from a bit deeper and will be looking for a little bit of support from one of the midfield players. Which one of them is going to venture forward or even get ahead of him on occasions? Here's Messi. This time the referee says no foul. I think he might be getting the treatment today. Of course, lots of people have had plans for him, but all through his career, he's managed to defy those plans. Mbappe really has got a turn of pace. He's showing here, look at this, from Mbappe's held back there. Hang on a minute, it's a penalty! It's a penalty for France! The Iranian referee was in no doubt. And there's a yellow card as well. It is only yellow. Argentina complain. But they could not cope there with the searing pace of Kylian Mbappe. Well, this is one of the great pieces of play of this World Cup. This solo run, what has he covered? 70 metres there. Well, maybe the first contact is outside there, but it carries on inside, doesn't it? They're just double-checking it to make sure, of course, it's one of those incidents. The check is over. The penalty decision stands. But that's what you call flair. Mbappe decided he was going to take them all on. Rojo, by illegal means, stopped him and picked up a yellow too. Pretty sure Griezmann will take it. This goalkeeper Franco Armani, who made his debut for Argentina the other night. They've had a real problem with their goalkeepers because of Sergio Romero, the regular #1's injury. What a moment this is for Armani. And for him, Antoine Griezmann. First blood France, 1-0. Griezmann strikes again, and it's the early breakthrough they were looking for in the 13th minute. There's the original foul outside, but it carries on inside. Griezmann never looked like he had a moment's doubt. He is a big game player. Top scorer at Euro 2016. 2 here now. Got 2 in the Europa League final as well for Atletico when they won it a few weeks ago. France 1, Argentina 0 here in this heavyweight clash in the round of 16. Just a fabulous piece of play by the 19-year-old Kylian Mbappe. It's only his 6th goal that for France. Here's Rojo. Now Mercado of Sevilla making a foraging run forward. And he carries on with it as well. Did score a couple of goals in the qualification, did Mercado, coming up from the back. Seen both sides of life as a footballer here at this World Cup. Hero the other night and currently villain for Argentina. Griezmann now. Mascherano doing the covering in midfield. Had a wonderful, wonderful World Cup 4 years ago, but he is 34 now and is playing in China these days. Here he is on the ball now, so experienced. Record caps for his country. Mercado inside. Messi's little touch. Can they engineer one moment for him? No way through for Pavone, the Boca Juniors player over there who's been drafted in. Have never lost when Antoine Griezmann has scored. 16 wins, 2 draws. It's an interesting trend in stat, but of course all of those runs end somewhere. And Argentina have fought their way out of corners before. Otamendi, very impressive for Manchester City in their title-winning campaign this year. Going to lay it forward. Mercado. Mascherano to Di Maria. Corner will be given. Di Maria's not a good one, doesn't beat the first defender. How often do you see that? It's pretty obvious that they've told Mbappe to run hard at that defence every time he gets the opportunity. The Argentine defence has been the subject of some debate in the build-up to the World Cup. They let in 6 against Spain and 4 against Nigeria. Mascherano. Otamendi. Titi, who will have faced Messi several times on the training ground, of course, in Barcelona practice matches. But hang on a minute, here's Mbappe's got him behind again. Here now, has he found another time there? Tagliafico. Right on the edge. Yellow card for the defender. That was another close run thing. They just can't cope with Mbappe. Continues to win trophies everywhere he goes. Titles at Leicester City, of course, and Chelsea. And the FA Cup this year for Chelsea. Still drives a Mini, mind you. A grounded individual, I think you could say. Messi was dispossessed there by Blaise Matuidi. As I thought, I think Matuidi's got that job over there of just tucking in and filling up that area where Messi likes to get the ball, that sort of inside right channel. Otamendi. Here is Messi. And as long as he's playing that far from goal. Mbappe again. It's been an electric start from him. No foul given. Mbappe complains. And I think we're going to get more of the same from Mbappe. He knows now he's got some of these defenders on toast. Mascherano into the channel. It's good goalkeeping, well played by Hugo Lloris to deny Perez. Some Titi going down, and he's saying he got a blow to the face there, which might be something the video assistant referee will want to look at. A stray arm, wasn't it, there, from Enzo Perez. It looks like they've decided to take a benevolent view of that. Griezmann just wanted a bit too much that time, and Mascherano wasn't going to give him it from a Liverpool and Barcelona man. Look at that, Argentina have had 69% possession. Fat lot of good it's doing them. Lloris hasn't had to make a save so far. Pico towards Di Maria. They need him to put in a stellar display today. Angel Di Maria. Here's Griezmann. Full of clever movement, very clever movement. He's got away from Rojo, couldn't cut it back into the path of Matuidi, who was arriving on the near post. But he looks in the mood, Antoine Griezmann, here. Pico. Now Di Maria. Played in every qualifier, did Angel Di Maria. Perez to Pavone. Now Mercado. Mascherano. Pavone. Lucas Hernandez, who's starting to make that left-back position his own. They've decided that Benjamin Mendy, who's not fit anyway today, isn't quite sharp enough for this World Cup after his long absence with a cruciate injury.
थोड़ा हॉकी हो जाए
Hino nacional da Colômbia, a seleção cafetera, liderada pelo argentino Néstor Lorenzo, técnico que está também desde 2022 no cargo. Agora, hino nacional francês.
que inclusive sem grande atividade defensiva.
Bem jogado agora pela seleção francesa, subida no corredor de Lucas Digne. Lateral do Aston Villa a jogar para trás. A equipa francesa a tentar assumir maior protagonismo com bola, mas é uma seleção colombiana. E a atenção também de Portugal, é uma seleção colombiana que gosta também de jogar, de ter a bola, tem qualidade para isso, tem artistas suficientes também nas suas opções. Dinha. Zaire Emery. Aclius, bem na combinação. Atenção aqui à equipa francesa. Cherki. Passe para trás, possibilidade de remate a sair e a bola sai ligeiramente ao lado. É o primeiro lance de perigo com o médio do Paris Saint-Germain, Zaire Emery, e dá canto para a França.
Sim, eu acho que bateu no Lerma. O Cherki fez logo o sinal ao árbitro. No remate do Zaire Emery. E a Colômbia defende com 6 ao homem. O Aclius está a tentar impedir a saída mais confortável do guarda-redes.
Mas já a preocupação do Néstor Lorenzo, canto para Ryan Cherki, ninguém para o cabeceamento. Lucas Digne. Aclius. N'Golo Kanté. Tentou ali fazer o acompanhamento. Luís Dias. Colocou ao lado Zaire Emery.
Há pouco tinhas falado no Manu Koné. Parece-me extremamente complicado que ele vá ao Mundial, porque se o Kanté voltou, não estou a ver o Zaire Emery a sair da convocatória. O Rabiot, o Tchouaméni e o Camavinga, que são mais ou menos garantidos, fica difícil para o Manu Koné.
E é de facto o que impressiona, é de facto não apenas o 11 possível da seleção francesa.
Os 2 ou 3 que podias fazer, não é?
É impressionante. Impressionante, de facto, a qualidade da seleção francesa, talvez olhando para o grupo todo, para os 26. Um plantel fortíssimo desta seleção vice-campeã do mundo. Ataque para a França, tira bem a linha defensiva da Colômbia e procura sair com John Arias, jogador que vem de 3 jogos a marcar pela seleção. Arias, cruzamento de Arias, tenta o passe, consegue. Rames não consegue depois fazer o remate, pontapé de muito longe que passa perto. Que tiraço! A ameaça agora da seleção cafetera com um remate muito perigoso. A aparecer na imagem Richard Rios, o médio do Benfica. Com o remate a passar muito, muito perto da baliza. Não sei se lá conseguiria chegar, mas o remate é do Luís Dias. Aparece o Rios, mas o remate é do Luís Dias. Pontapé tremendo do jogador do Bayern de Munique. Para já o início vivo de partida. A seleção colombiana que já vai aqui no 6º jogo seguido em solo americano. Portanto, nessa vontade rapidamente de se adaptar o melhor possível às condições. Um grupo onde, teoricamente, é a segunda equipa mais forte, atrás de Portugal. Atenção a Marcos Thuram. Cruzamento de Thuram, tira Rios.
Eu gosto que as equipas joguem com os seus equipamentos originais, mas não pode ser permitido jogarem ambos de meias vermelhas. Mas isto não existe.
Faz alguma confusão, sem dúvida. Lacroix. Diria que é o menos mediático dos elementos do 11 francês, este defesa que atua no Palace, em Inglaterra.
Lacroix, ele joga no sistema de 3 centrais com o Glasner no Palace. É mais para jogo aéreo.
Boa recuperação do meio campo colombiano. O Rica.
Aliás, hoje o equipe também fazia um destaque para o facto de esta convocatória ter 3 jogadores formados no Sochaux. O Lacroix, o Konaté e o Thuram.
Munhoz. Ele, jogador do Palace, Victor Munhoz, Arias. E a bola sai pela linha lateral. Pertence à França. Lance ganho por Désiré Doué.
Néstor Lorenzo já jogou uma final do Mundial em 90. Era um defesa da seleção argentina.
Final decidida num penalti de Andrés Brema, numa Alemanha-Argentina.
Eu não achei que fosse penalti, mas foi assinalado.
Atenção à Colômbia, tira bem, corte de Calulu. Lançamento para a seleção colombiana.
A Argentina nas finais de mundiais com a Alemanha tem sempre alguma coisa para contar, né? Já aquela também de 2014, o Neuer fez um penalti clamoroso que seria expulsão numa entrada a Tony Schumacher ao Gonzalo Higuaín.
Essa final ganha pela Alemanha no prolongamento.
Entrada de Tony Schumacher, aquela do Batiston. Foi parecida.
Mais um jogador no relevado. Partida novamente interrompida. Casa praticamente lutada para este França-Colômbia. Continua ali. O árbitro não parece muito interessado, mas continua ali com algumas dificuldades. Didier Deschamps, que está de saída no final do Campeonato do Mundo. Não é muito habitual, mas estamos a falar de uma longa ligação desde 2012, com a conquista do Mundial como grande competição. Também ganhou a Liga das Nações uma vez, esteve na final do Euro 2016 e esteve na final do Mundial 2022. Um trabalho muito elogiado de Didier Deschamps, que foi campeão do mundo também, como estarão recordados, como jogador no França 98. Portanto, nos dois títulos mundiais tem a presença de Deschamps, uma como jogador, a outra como selecionador.
Ganhou praticamente tudo, ou treinador de clube ou selecionador. Ele só não foi campeão europeu de clube em Gelsenkirchen, que o Porto ganhou ao Mónaco.
Muito bem, na recuperação, a equipa da Colômbia. Trabalho de Luís Dias. Praticamente fechados os primeiros 10 minutos do jogo. Duelo equilibrado entre França e Colômbia.
ഹർഷ് നീ ഒരുപാട് മുന്നോട്ട് പോയി ഇഷ്ടാ എന്താ പറയുന്നത് ഋഷഭ് ഹൈഫൈ ക്ലാസ്മേറ്റ് നോട്ട്ബുക്ക് ടോപ്പ് ക്വാളിറ്റി പേപ്പർ നീ ഒറ്റയ്ക്ക് ടോപ്പിലെത്തി ഇഷ്ടാ
How could you?
നിങ്ങളും വാ വെറും ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ
ക്ലാസ്മേറ്റ് നോട്ട്ബുക്സിലുണ്ട് സൂപ്പർ പേപ്പർ ക്വാളിറ്റി പിന്നെ അഫോർഡബിളും.
As duas seleções mais fortes do grupo de Portugal apenas se encontram na última partida, depois de Uzbequistão e o vencedor do Congo, Jamaica. Portanto, teoricamente, diria que em condições normais o objetivo passa por chegar a esse duelo com 6 pontos, quer de um lado quer do outro, e discutir depois o primeiro lugar.
O Doué volta a jogar na esquerda, como aconteceu quando ele entrou a meio do jogo contra o Brasil, na altura para travar um bocadinho mais o Wesley França, para defender melhor que o Equitica. O Doué tem essa particularidade, é um dos melhores dribladores que existe, mas é extremamente comprometido na ação defensiva.
É um craque também, o jogador do Paris Saint-Germain. Diria que chegou de forma relativamente discreta ao PSG, embora tenha feito uma época muito boa no Rennes. Mas se calhar nem o próprio esperaria um impacto tão grande como aquele que teve no Paris Saint-Germain.
Sim, esteve mais discreto uns 2-3 meses, também não foi muito, mas sim, entrou um bocado tímido, mas mesmo essa temporada inicial no PSG depois acabou muito bem.
Vinha.
Foi o MVP da final da Champions.
Outra vez o lateral do Aston Villa, cruzamento da Dinha, tira bem. A defesa da Colômbia, com condições, na tua leitura, Luís Catarino, para se afirmar como titular no lado esquerdo da defesa francesa, o Lucadinho, grande cautela também, e que fez um bom Mundial. Para já, este ataque da seleção colombiana, Morrica no cruzamento muito forte e bola a sair do outro lado.
Eu acho que o Dinha está com mais andamento que o Theo, mas pelo facto do Theo ter jogado com o Brasil, com os outros que te podes imaginar mais rapidamente como titulares, talvez o Deschamps neste momento designa o Theo um bocadinho acima do Dinha, mas é quase ela por ela.
Lançamento para o lateral esquerdo francês, também já jogou no Barcelona. Dinha. Iramonhas, bola sobra para Kanté. Calulu. Aclios. Para trás para Lacroix. A jogar com Dinha.
O próprio Lacroix no Wolfsburg, quando foi dirigido pelo Glasner, também era com 3 centrais. E está num módulo diferente, não havendo o Saliba, o Upamecano, portanto ele aproveita também para entrar na dinâmica da seleção.
Aclius. Bola para trás, atenção aqui, a combinação com Magna Aclius e muitas dúvidas nesta ação, com o árbitro a dar pontapé de baliza e com o jogador do Mónaco a reclamar ali um contacto com o defesa adversário, no caso com o Juan Cabal. É ali primeiro um puxão com algum risco do Morrica, depois não há falta.
Cabal já teve lesões graves, que está já como central também para dar descanso ao Lukumi, que não esteve muito bem contra a Croácia.
Grande bola, atenção, pode ir para o golo, adianta um bocadinho o Marcos Thuram, mas há fora de jogo. Mesmo assim não definiu da melhor forma o atacante do Inter, já que dificilmente poderia fazer o remate, caso não houvesse fora de jogo. Deixou fugir a bola demasiado para a linha final. Avançado começou bem a temporada, tem tido algumas dificuldades também nos últimos jogos. O líder do campeonato italiano, Marcos Thuram, também com a ausência de Lautaro.
Sim, um líder que já foi mais líder.
Está a tremer um bocadinho nesta parte da temporada e a sentir muito a ausência do atacante argentino.
Este guarda-redes coloca a bola com muita potência na frente. O Lourenço tenta que a equipa se agrupe bem atrás, mas é no ataque que está a grande força da Colômbia. Mas acho que a Colômbia é mais especial quando tem o Quintero em campo. O Quintero neste momento está com mais andamento que o Rames, só que o Rames é o Rames, não é?
E normalmente destaca-se também nos campeonatos do mundo, tem um dos melhores golos dos últimos anos em mundiais e é um jogador que habitualmente consegue depois chegar a um patamar muito elevado também nas fases finais. Bem jogado por Luís Dias, Morrica, cruzamento, grande corte, é um corte espetacular, possivelmente a impedir o golo da Colômbia. Já lá estava o John Arias outra vez.
Canva ഹൃദയത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ഡിസൈനിലേക്ക്.
शेविंग से जलन और परेशानी और नहीं, मेरे जिलेट मार्क 3 के 3 फेशियल अडैप्टिव ब्लेड्स दे इतना कंफर्टेबल शेव जो लगे हवा से भी हल्का. जिलेट मार्क 3, स्मूथेस्ट एंड मोस्ट कंफर्टेबल शेव.
Grande trabalho, muito bem Luís Dias, muito bem também Morrica. E o corte é espetacular.
Sim, é quase sempre do lado esquerdo da Colômbia. Com as ações do Morrica e do Dias, é por aí que a Colômbia promove mais perigo. Foi também numa jogada do género que depois o Luís Soares desperdiça um gol cantado contra a Croácia. A bola passou por baixo dele.
Não é muito habitual ver o Soares falhar aquilo que falhou perante a seleção croata. Colômbia que depois acabou por perder esse jogo na quinta-feira.
Sim, foi um gol com um desvio e depois uma falha de marcação num pontapé de canto do Lukumi e uma má saída do Camilo Vargas.
Charque tinha primeiro quarto de hora do jogo, mantém-se o empate a 0 entre França e Colômbia. Para já um início muito vivo de partida. A ação colombiana que antes de Néstor Lourenço teve Reinaldo Rueda, teve Carlos Queiroz também.
A Colômbia nunca pode estar preparada para fazer uma pressão alta tendo o Rames na equipa. Portanto, eles estacionam um bocadinho mais atrás.
Ante, Aclius, apoio de Caluro, subida do lateral, cruzamento, atravessa toda a grande área e a bola sai pela linha final. Pontapé de baliza para a Colômbia. Bola longa de Davinson Sanchez, recuperação para Dinho. Aclius, ali a protestar os colombianos. Thuram, Kanté.
A bola do Thuram não foi boa, mas o Kanté é tão rápido que ainda manteve viva a jogada.
Dinha, cruzamento e bem no campo. Bom trabalho defensivo de Arias.
Sim, a Croácia fez o golo com um canto ao segundo poste. Colômbia não é uma equipa com jogadores muito altos.
Dinha. Pontapé livre para a França, quase 20 minutos do encontro. Lucas Dinha, remate a ficar muito curto e com pouca força na barreira. Tenta sair a seleção colombiana, não deixa a França. E o árbitro para o jogo, ficou ali maltratado. Pelo menos porque estava na barreira. E jogo interrompido. Com a necessidade de assistência a Richard Rios. Jogador que veio do Palmeiras para o Benfica. Não saiu da forma desejada. A execução do livre. Dinha.
O Lucadinho no Aston Villa também treina bolas paradas com o mesmo treinador dessa especialidade na seleção portuguesa, o Austin McPhee. Inclusivamente nos livres. Repare-se que também o João Neves contra a Arménia marcou de livre direto. Um aspecto que o Rodgers, por exemplo, também marcou.
Bem jogado pela seleção francesa. Aclius para Dinha. Doué, agora mais rápido. Com uma boa ação defensiva, o Arias a ganhar o pontapé de livre.
O Rodgers e o Buendia do Aston Villa. John Arias é um jogador fantástico, porque ele consegue ter criatividade e também ajuda bastante a defender. Um excelente reforço para o Abel. Ele no Verdão tem jogado mais aberto na esquerda, porque na direita está o Alain, o esquerdino.
ഹർഷ് ഹൈഫൈ ക്ലാസ്മേറ്റ് നോട്ട്ബുക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് നീ ഒരുപാട് മുന്നിലായിഷ്ട എന്താ പറയുന്നത് ഋഷഭ്?
How could you?
ഡിസൈൻ ഡിസ്കവറി, അതായത് ഓരോ കവറിലും പുതിയ പുതിയ പസിൽസ്. ഒരുപാട് സ്മാർട്ട് ആയല്ലേ ബ്രോ? നിങ്ങൾക്കും ആകാമല്ലോ. വെറും ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ.
डिजाइन डिस्कवरी अदायद कूल डिजाइन्स puzzles classmate
So wake up.
स्टोरी समझ गए ना?
Everyone loves everyone.
The classic touch of comforting roti and Nutella.
Mornings taste better with Nutella.
Scan the QR code and get a special cashback of ₹50.
Dinha. Aclius. Cherki. Hernandes a jogar com Lacroix. Pressão colombiana. Outra vez Lacroix. Aguenta ali uma pressão inicial, depois complica um bocadinho e acaba por perder a bola. Possibilidade de resposta em velocidade com Luís Dias. Passa bem Luís Dias. Atenção à Colômbia. Vai ali para uma primeira finta. Ainda Dias. Ação de Kanté. Passo para trás. Aparece o remate forte e a defesa de Samba. Boa jogada agora da Colômbia com o pontapé de James Rodrigues. Na primeira verdadeira ameaça de James no jogo, depois de Luís Dias já ter tido uma situação de perigo também no jogo.
Sim, a situação de ataque rápido nasce depois de uma pressão bem feita do Luís Soares. É o Luís Soares que começa a incomodar os defesas da França. Nesta coluna central não vai ser o James que vai ameaçar os franceses na construção da equipa do Deschamps. É mais o Luís Soares. O James praticamente não se mexe.
Lacroix. É muito espaço agora a Aclius. Aí vai o extremo do Mónaco. Ainda Magne Aclius. Cruzamento direitinho para as mãos do guarda-redes Álvaro Monteiro. Em dia de aniversário, a ser aqui titular perante o vice-campeão do mundo.
Ele é do Vélez, da Argentina. E aquilo que falávamos há pouco, a extensão dos lançamentos dele, o pontapé para a frente, aqui até foi com demasiada potência.
Não há golos nesta partida, mas já com algumas aproximações perigosas, tanto de um lado como do outro. Lucas Hernandes a lateralizar para Dinho, o passe não é bom, recupera Rios, pressão de Thuram, mas sai bem dessa pressão. E duelo muito intenso entre Thuram e Davinson Sanchez.
É melhor fazer já a paragem para hidratação, aproveitar já.
É para acalmar. Eu julgo que O árbitro, por agora, opta por falar com os dois, aconselhar aqui alguma calma. A falta do tio Ramos é clara.
Sim. O tio Ramos esticou-se um bocadinho.
Muito bem, a sair outra vez a seleção da Colômbia. Arias, ficam ali a reclamar o eventual fora de jogo. O árbitro a mandar jogar. Rames, cruzamento de Rames. Já não chega Munhoz.
Sim, sim. Isto ninguém lhe tira. A capacidade para ele, quando recebe a bola, calibrar assistências com o pé esquerdo. O Rames aí é formidável. Mas é quando a bola lhe chega, porque ele não vai procurar a bola. Não tem essa movimentação, esse alcance nas deslocações. Aí o Quintero está num momento muito melhor no River Plate. Pode ser aproveitado também pelo Néstor Lorenzo.
E agora um momento para a pausa, para a hidratação.
Sim.
Uma boa primeira parte até agora, Luís.
Sim, não houve muitas ocasiões, mas acho que sim, concordo. A primeira parte não foi má. Acho que as equipas estão a tentar aplicar um bom ritmo. A França teve maior remodelação do 11 inicial em relação ao seu jogo anterior. Esta questão aqui também das paragens para a hidratação, e ontem na transmissão do México-Portugal falávamos um bocadinho sobre a versão do Deschamps em relação a isto. Ele considera que isto pode ser prejudicial para as equipas que querem acelerar o ritmo, depois vem a paragem para a hidratação, os cooling breaks, travam o ritmo quando uma das equipas queria prevalecer sobre a outra. São 3 minutos que quebram. Isto depois também tem a ver um bocadinho com o advento da publicidade nas transmissões, sobretudo americanas. Acho que isto, mesmo na Europa, isto também tem que ser tido em conta, porque pode não fazer bem ao jogo. A adulteração dos ritmos normais que estávamos habituados a ver na Europa pode ser delicado também desse ponto de vista, com esta profusão de publicidade. Os americanos também têm uma noção diferente daquilo que é espetáculo. Isso percebe-se logo nas modalidades que também veneram mais do que o soccer. Modalidades de choque, contacto, com muitas paragens para temas comerciais. Ainda no jogo que eu tive a oportunidade de ver entre a Colômbia e a Croácia, o último particular da Colômbia, sempre que havia um pontapé de canto, o speaker falava, o momento de pontapé de canto era publicitado pelo não sei quantos.
Estão aqui à partida 3 titulares da seleção francesa, Olise, Dembélé e Kylian Mbappé. A questão é que há tanta qualidade, o Kylian Mbappé é indiscutível. Mas Dembélé é o bola de ouro, o Olise está a fazer uma época incrível. São 3 dos muitos craques que não estão em campo lá de França.
Isto é o Quintero.
O jogador do Porto também.
Ele está muito bem fisicamente. É talvez a época do Quintero em que ele está melhor fisicamente. No River Plate ele tem contribuído muito. E fez mesmo um treino específico para chegar bem ao Campeonato do Mundo. Para ser reabilitado na seleção colombiana.
थोड़ा हॉकी हो जाए
हो जाए
हॉकी तो हो गया, अब कुछ और हो जाए।
Kingfisher, the king of good times.
E ainda não perdeu a magia no pé esquerdo, nem a vai perder.
Tem muito talento. Quintero tinha de facto essa dificuldade em termos de andamento, se assim se pode dizer, no jogo. Mas no River tem estado de facto muito bem.
Sim, agora, aquilo que falávamos em relação ao Rames, ele tem um estatuto tão grande que pode ser desconfortável para o Lorenzo tirar da equipa titular. Mas é muito pelo estatuto, o Rames.
Lançamento para Munhoz, Daniel Munhoz, lateral direito do Crystal Palace. Recordo que a seleção colombiana falhou o campeonato do mundo do Qatar, não esteve presente, foi 6º. Este ano estaria, se fosse com as condicionantes que existem agora, com o alargamento do Campeonato do Mundo. O 6º lugar deu presença no Mundial, na altura não dava e portanto ficou fora do Mundial. A seleção colombiana que vai estar pela 7ª vez na prova.
Vimos ali o Aclius, que tem sido mais preponderante no Mónaco. O Mónaco neste momento é um dos clubes em melhor forma no futebol europeu. Ele é o mais utilizado da equipa do Pocognoli. E o treinador do Mónaco sublinhou as qualidades defensivas do Aclius, que cresceram nos últimos tempos.
Luís Dias a ser ali pressionado, bola a sobrar para trás para Morrica. Rios. Assim não entrou bem. Estamos quase a chegar à meia hora de jogo. Mantém-se o empate a 0 entre França e Colômbia. A seleção colombiana que ocupa o 14º lugar do ranking, mas que tem tido habitualmente dificuldades a jogar nos últimos encontros perante seleções melhor colocadas em termos de ranking. Mas lembrando que na qualificação ganhou em casa, quer ao Brasil, quer à Argentina, e teve também o tal triunfo perante a Espanha num jogo de preparação.
Se eles prevalecem sobretudo em Barranquilha, no calor e da umidade. Em relação à França, se tanto a França como Portugal terminarem os seus grupos em primeiro...
Por apoio, Ryan Cherky sobra para o remate, golo! Desiré Doué faz 1-0, mas há ali um desvio que acaba por trair o guarda-redes Álvaro Montero. À meia hora, a França na frente do jogo.
E a Colômbia volta a sofrer um gol com um desvio, como aconteceu no primeiro da Croácia, no particular anterior. Grande jogador do E. O foge da esquerda vai aproximar-se dos colegas do outro lado. Capacidade para combinar em espaços curtos, pois o disparo é forte. Para que o Doué aqui vai fugir do controle do Munhoz. Vai passar à frente do árbitro. Com o Cherky a tentar combinar com o Thuram. Ele desgasta, depois apanha ali no limite da área.
É o Munhoz que acaba por ser tremendamente infeliz ao tentar o corte. Acaba por trair o guarda-redes, que não tem qualquer hipótese.
Também muito bem o Cherky a denunciar que ia dar ao Doué e depois dar no Thuram. Conseguiu empurrar um bocadinho mais a defesa da Colômbia.
É o primeiro golo de Desiré Doué com a camisola da seleção francesa ao 6º jogo. Tem apenas 21 anos. Recordar, este antigo jogador do Rennes.
Sim, o Doué, quando fez 3 participações diretas para golo na final da Champions contra o Inter, foi o primeiro a fazê-lo no novo formato de Champions. No novo formato, quer dizer, na Liga dos Campeões, desde 92-93. O último tinha sido o Pierino Prati, com o hat-trick contra o Ajax pelo Milan em 69.
E o vice-campeão do mundo na frente do jogo com este golo de Doué, o desvio fatal para Munhoz e para a seleção cafetera.
Portugal pode estar à espera de um modo de estar idêntico da Colômbia. Espera um bocadinho mais atrás, depois quando recuperam o posse de bola aí já trabalham mais. Não vão sobreviver só com ataques diretos, de contra-ataque com o Dias ou com o Arias. Podem planear um bocadinho mais até com o
Rames, do Rames mais lento nesta fase final da carreira, também a atuar em Minnesota, nos Estados Unidos. Portanto, já num ritmo mais baixo também.
Já se nota há algum tempo, mesmo no México, ele já estava a jogar com um ritmo muito baixo. Tem sido gradual. O Rames e o Radamel Falcão estiveram no Mónaco, do Leonardo Jardim. O Falcão ficou mais tempo. Na altura até cruzou-se com o Mbappé a aparecer. O Mónaco, campeão francês, com o Falcão dessa altura.
Hernandes. Atrasou para Samba. Outra vez Lucas Hernandes. Samba. Ainda não teve qualquer oportunidade para poder arrematar a baliza. Luís Soares, na melhor época de carreira, o atacante do Sporting, com 33 golos marcados. Superou recentemente os 31 que tinha marcado o ano passado no Almeria. Ele que marcou apenas por uma vez na seleção colombiana. em 9 jogos, mas marcou 4 golos. Nesse único jogo em que faturou os 4 golos à Venezuela. Bem jogado por Arias, sempre muito rápido nas suas ações. Cruzamento, saída de Samba. É ali atingido ainda.
Foi Dias.
O jogador colombiano e ficam os dois maltratados.
Pareceu-me que foi o Dias.
ഹർഷ് നീ ഒരുപാട് മുന്നോട്ട് പോയി ഇഷ്ടാ. എന്താ പറയുന്നത് ഋഷഭ്? ഹൈഫൈ ക്ലാസ്മേറ്റ് നോട്ട്ബുക്ക്, ടോപ്പ് ക്വാളിറ്റി പേപ്പർ. നീ ഒറ്റയ്ക്ക് ടോപ്പിലെത്തി ഇഷ്ടാ.
How could you?
നിങ്ങളും വാ. വെറും ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ.
ക്ലാസ്മേറ്റ് നോട്ട്ബുക്സിലുണ്ട് സൂപ്പർ പേപ്പർ ക്വാളിറ്റി, പിന്നെ അഫോർഡബിളും.
All I wanna do is get some time alone with you. The way you want to, baby girl. Find somewhere that we can walk around together. See, 'cause I don't want you by yourself. You put up your hair and pick out what you wanna wear. I'm coming, won't you say the word? We can call it when you're ready to. Show me what you really wanna do. All I wanna do. All I wanna do. All I wanna do. All I wanna do. I can't find no benefits in going our separate ways. And I know you're so independent, and it don't need a change. I just need the chance to bring the woman out of you. I already see it coming out of you. Hey, that's why I've been on your body like I'm running out of you. Wondering if I wanted something out of you. Go ahead and tell me, baby, how does it feel when all of a sudden someone appears and takes you by surprise? All I wanna do is get some time alone with you. Yeah, the way you want to, baby girl. Find somewhere that we can walk around together. See, 'cause I don't want you by yourself. You put up your hair and pick out what you wanna wear. I'm coming, won't you say the word? We can call it when you're ready to show me what you really wanna do. You put up your hair and pick out what you wanna wear. And won't you say the word? I wish I could trade places with that fence. I wanna be the one that you lean against. We can make it so you maintain innocence. Talk to me till you're fully convinced. I wish I could trade places with that lamppost. I like the way you lean on that damn post. I could be the handrail that you put your hands on.
Sim, o John Arias, mesmo agora que foi reforço recente do Palmeiras, já marcou bons golos contra o São Paulo e o Botafogo. Tinha marcado a Croácia logo no segundo minuto. Opa!
Está maltratado. Samba.
Samba fez ali pelo menos um sinal que está ok, mas precisa de só mais um tempo.
Choque com Luís Dias, cá está Néstor Lourenço, desde 2022. No cargo, ele que chegou
and now the starting lineups for this evening's UEFA Champions League Final 2023, starting with Manchester City. David Bolton Boxer ikinci UEFA Şampiyonlar Ligi'ne geçip her iki takımın ilk 11'lerini açıklıyoruz. Manchester City'nin ilk 11'i. Here we go, Manchester City goal tonight, 31 Edison. Then bring Ruben Diaz, 5 John Stones, 6 Nathan Ake, 8 our captain Ilkay Gundogan, number 9 Erling Haaland, number 10 Jack Grealish, 16 Rodri, 17 Kevin, number 20 Bernardo, and number 25 Emmanuel Mbappe, and our head coach of course, Pep Guardiola. And now the lineup for FC Internazionale Milano. Ci dice FC Internazionale Milano del Covid. Inter con il numero 24 Andrea Nana, con il numero 2 Renzo Dumfries, con il numero 9
Skriniar is back on the Inter Milan bench.
con il numero 16 Francesco Cervi.
Well, it's fast approaching 10 p.m. local time in a still warm Istanbul. It's a return to this stage. Of course, John Stones is going to slot into midfield alongside the likes of Rodri and Gundogan and do the majority of his work in there. But this is the unit, though, that we're going to focus on, I'm sure, tonight. The back three, all Italian. Matteo Darmian, Francesco Acerbi and Alessandro Bastoni. Three men, Steve, who have to be pretty much perfect.
Yes, they do. What they're not scared of is just clearing their lines. Yes, they want to play when they can.
Played through here to Haaland. The offside flag went up. Haaland, though, with his first chance to test himself inside the Internazionale penalty area. He was just slightly offside.
To be a little bit critical, Kevin De Bruyne probably could have slipped him in a little bit there.
There's Simone Inzaghi, who was one defeat away from the sack earlier this season. He's now one win from becoming a legend of Internazionale. He's won 2 Coppa Italias, but tonight would be the best of his professional life if he gets it done. Julian Lescott has been down there pitch side, building up to the match. He's joined us here in the commentary position as well. How are you feeling?
Slightly more nervous than I was in the build-up. I was very calm. Obviously down there the atmosphere is amazing, but in regards to how I feel now, I'm surprised by the setup of Inter Milan, if I'm honest. The press is very high, as Maka touched on then, so it's going to be an interesting game.
Yes, indeed. And what they are trying to be tonight, Internazionale is the first team to win this competition with an authentic front two since AC Milan beat Juventus at Old Trafford quite a few years ago, and it is an authentic front two with Martinez up there with Edin Dzeko. We will see Lukaku at some stage. That's the way they do it. And he's an important man tonight as well, isn't he? Number 23, Nicolo Barella, who's been named the best midfielder in Serie A for the second time in 3 seasons, and most of what they do, Steve, goes through him.
He was excellent against Benfica, he runs forward, he runs past the 2 forwards, scored a lovely goal at Benfica in the quarter-finals, instrumental in their victories against AC Milan in the semi-finals. But that Italian harpy right in the centre, very aggressive in there. And a really nice part over this side, Jack Grealish on Denzel Dumfries, because Denzel Dumfries wants to go forward. He wants Darmian to pick him up and he goes forward. But at the moment, Jack's winning that little duel because he ties him right back there, allowing Nathan Ake time to bring the ball forward.
Plenty of athleticism and speed out wide. Dumfries down one side and DiMarco down the other. Here's Rodri, who of course was heartbroken not to start 2 years ago in Porto. Now Gundogan, promising position. On it goes now to Stones for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva. Whips it in! So close to an opener.
I mean, brilliant by Bernardo Silva, but what on earth is DiMarco doing, allowing them to run and run and run? DiMarco's just backing off and off and off.
please, you will take that all day long. If he doesn't want to challenge, just run at him into that penalty area. Cut back onto your left foot and try and whip it into that far corner. Lovely play by Bernardo Silva. And that shows how close it was.
It's the first little grab of the arm as well from Jolyon Lescott. You thought that was sneaking in, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, to be fair. But like I said, it was a surprising approach from DeMarco there. He couldn't move his feet quick enough, especially when Bernardo goes inside.
So Manuel Akanji. English teams have won 2 of the previous 3 Anglo-Italian finals in the competition. Inter were the last Italian winners back in 2010. Since then, only Juventus have managed to reach a final. City have another double, chasing the treble tonight, but Inter chasing a treble of their own, having won the Coppa Italia and the Italian Super Cup as well. This is such a big night for both of the teams down there. Here's Grealish. Brozovic quickly in there for Internazionale. Brozovic, who's in for Mkhitaryan tonight, only trained once since he's been injured, Mkhitaryan, but I think, Steve, in the circumstances, Brozovic would have played in that midfield tonight anyway.
Yeah, I think so. There is more legs in there, no disrespect to Mkhitaryan. But the fact that he has been injured and missed a couple of weeks' work has just made the decision far more easier for Inzaghi.
It's Ruben Dias for Manchester City, already dominating the ball in the early phases. Great atmosphere inside the stadium. The end being defended by Andre Onana has the Internazionale supporters behind, and the goal that is being defended by Edison in the first half is the goal where all 6 goals were scored prior to penalties when Liverpool came back against AC Milan here famously in 2005. Nicolo Barella. It's not the kind of service tonight that Edin Dzeko is going to be looking for. It's noticeable very early, though, Steve, that on restarts they have Denzel Dumfries very high up the pitch on the right-hand side, right up against Nathan Ake, Internazionale.
Yeah, it's a nice little battle because once De Bruyne comes across towards Jack Grealish, he makes 2-on-1. Dumfries has to then drop because Matteo Darmian has pushed across to help out with Erling Haaland. So lovely little subplots all over the pitch as we look down on it.
Swept on first time there by Bernardo Silva. Quickly to it though for Internazionale was Francesco Acerbi. It's remarkable really when you think about the competitions that these two play in, that they've never played against each other in Europe until tonight. Quite a rarity in a situation like this. Here's Kevin De Bruyne for Manchester City, and now Ruben Dias. It's a really good noise inside the stadium tonight. It's a bit of a trek for the supporters. It's not the easiest of stadiums to get to. Various modes of transport were being used, particularly by the City supporters when we travelled in earlier today. But everybody's here now. It's a complete sellout, and it's a great atmosphere in here as well.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful atmosphere. Good to see everybody made it. As you said, it is a distance. It's a long way behind that goal for those Manchester City fans. So let's hope they're all right.
There's the former Manchester United man, Matteo Darmian. Acerbi's in the centre of the back three. And then Alessandro Bastoni out there on the left-hand side. There are winners of big competitions out there for the Italians tonight. Barella and Bastoni were part of the Italy team that won the European Championships. And, of course, Martinez, the centre-forward, is a World Cup winner with Argentina. Here's Çalhanoğlu, bursting forward for the first time. Now Di Marco. Not a bad ball in, it's well defended by Ruben Dias. And we see again there that Internazionale prepared to get bodies into the Manchester City penalty area.
Yeah, that was a good move from Barella into Çalhanoğlu, wide to Di Marco. And he's a threat. Good left foot, he likes to get the ball into the box, and they did pile in there. Good header though by Ruben Dias.
It's a big night tonight for Çalhanoğlu, born in Germany, but plays, of course, internationally for Turkey. He's never played club football here, but he's been centre stage for a lot of people for obvious reasons in the build-up to the match. 10 minutes gone, 0-0, and the feeling out process here between Manchester City and Internazionale of Milan.
Push forward on Kevin De Bruyne. Each player's trying to pull their opposition number out of the way, trying to create space for other people. A bit of a chess match at the minute. Shall I go? Shall I stay?
Opportunity here from the throw-in that was needlessly given away by Edison for Denzel Dumfries, the Dutch international. Looped into the Manchester City box and headed away by Rodri. And then that smashed back in by Darmian. The assistant says the ball didn't go out. Martinez was able to keep it in play. And the decision then is a Manchester City ball from Simon Marciniak, the referee. Just had a couple of things on his mind there that he needed to work out. But it's fascinating, Jolien, at the moment, tactically between these two.
Yeah, definitely. The game's playing out as I thought it would in regards to tempo, being controlled by Man City and the calmness out of possession from Inter Milan, but it's happening a lot higher up the pitch. I didn't anticipate an aggressive approach from Inter Milan in regards of how high they're going to press.
Quickly given to Manchester City, keen to play as quick as they can. Here's Ake. Haven't yet, at this stage, City found that usual rhythm that we see when they're in possession. That's down to the way Inter have started the match. Into John Stones. Oh, Rodri. Noticeable against it, just how quickly they got around the ball then, the Inter players.
Nice and aggressive, aren't they? It was a foul, of course it was, but they're closing down very quickly. Not allowing Manchester City midfielders and John Stones, of course, to get in there and turn on the ball, making Manchester City play backwards.
It was Grealish being tested by Dumfries. On there by Gundogan towards Erling Haaland. Stepping in though for Inter was Matteo Darmian. And now they've got DiMarco moving forward down the left, and he really enjoys doing this.
2-on-2 in the penalty area.
Barella with the cross, and that's deflected behind. It's going to be an Inter corner, defending done by Ake. But again, it was the wing-back. This time on the other side, DiMarco causing the problem.
Yeah, DiMarco goes forwards. They leave 2-on-2 in the area. Yes, the cross is just a high-looped one. We know what the like at set pieces. They favour set pieces into Milan. We have to be alert, Manchester City.
Got players who can be extremely dangerous in situations like this. The likes of Bastoni and Cherby. Of course, Edin Dzeko is a player they've got to take into account in a situation like this one. Here on the corner is either Çalhanoğlu or DiMarco. It's whipped in here by Barella, dealt with defensively again in there by Manchester City.
That wasn't a great ball by Barella. They have looked with Manchester City down over by the corner flag. But City were all very happy to have all their bodies in the penalty area. Defended it yet again very well.
It's the first time the two teams have been head-to-head tonight, the first time the two coaches have been head-to-head as well, the first time that Inzaghi and Guardiola have gone against each other. Up it goes towards Martinez, and that's cushioned down to Ake. And here's an opportunity for Martinez. It's good defending there by Ruben Dias, but the game plan at the moment from an Inter perspective is working really well.
On Rodri really quickly. Ruben Dias did it really well.
Grealish has been so instrumental this season. That's an Inter ball.
But Fletcher's an example of how hard out of possession, and the strike force of Inter Milan are going to work. That's Edin Dzeko back there in the right back position to make a tackle.
Inzaghi down there. He's lively in the technical area. We'll give him that. They've averaged the manager a year since Rafa Benitez left in 2010. But the fact that Inzaghi's been with Inter for almost 2 years is a bit of an outlier. But it's also very welcome for a club that was desperate for some kind of stability. And of course, we know exactly just how important he's been to Manchester City, Pep Guardiola. I wonder what he's thinking tonight, though. Kyle Walker, Steve, he's fit, but he's been left out. And it must have been heartbreaking when he got the news.
Absolutely. I know Nathan Ake, as you mentioned before, played against Bayern Munich in the quarter-finals, but Kyle Walker's performances against Real Madrid were exemplary, weren't they? So it's a huge blow that he's not playing tonight. Particularly now he's fit. We know he's fit and well.
Lautaro Martinez is a man they've got to watch tonight. 28 goals this season for the World Cup winner from Argentina. Beaten to it by Darmian. Here's Brozovic. And that's a Manchester City ball this time. This time Grealish is slightly happier. They're a team who have kept 8 clean sheets in 12 matches in the Champions League, but they've kept 5 in 6 matches since the knockout stage started. They're a well-organised group. And a lot's been said in the build-up, Steve, about the fact that their strengths do actually play well against this Manchester City team. What they do well is what they need to do well on a night like this.
Yes, their form is excellent. 11 out of 12. I've just said all those clean sheets. Finished third in the league, finished Serie A straight really strongly, considering, of course, Napoli had won it a couple of months ago. Inzaghi knows what to do in cup competitions. Won 2 last year, he's already won 2 this year, so he knows what to do to get results in one-off games. And the overriding feeling is that we also know what Manchester City can do. We feel that it's better than what we've seen from Inter Milan.
He's got a remarkable record in finals, Inzaghi. 7 finals as a manager, and he's won all 7. Here's a Kanji. Ruben Diaz, and now Nathan Ake. Grealish on the run down this side. Haaland has made the run into the middle as we expect him to. And the defending them there for Inter by Francesco Acerbi.
Yeah, again, really aggressive. Wouldn't allow Jack to turn.
De Bruyne playing the ball off Matteo Darmian, and that's going to be a throw-in, not the corner that Kevin De Bruyne was hoping for. It's got the feel of a game, certainly at this stage, where the first goal is going to be so important. Of course, in finals it so often is, but when it's tight and tactical like this one, the first breakthrough can be so momentous for the team that actually gets it. A sloppy header from Ake. Çalhanoğlu then dispossessed by Gundogan, but it falls here for Martinez. And that's good work on that side by Bernardo Silva. Here's Rodri, who's played the most games this season for Manchester City, the engine room in central midfield, but that's intercepted out there by the busy Federico Di Marco.
Again, men forward for Inter Milan.
Brozovic into Martinez, and then the shot which came in from the Inter captain.
Yeah, Lautaro wanted it to play it off wide to Barella. You can see why Brozovic took the shot on. Opened his body up, just got the effort wrong.
Just got 1 or 2 problems at the moment to solve, hasn't he, Pep Guardiola, Jolien?
Yeah, obviously. Again, I don't know if he anticipated this high press, this 1-for-1 style in regards to the way Inter are looking to get at Man City, but needs to be a little bit more calmer in possession. Obviously, settle down, take a few more passes in their own half maybe, and obviously build a bit of momentum in that way.
The thing you would say is, can this Inter Milan team work as hard as they have been for the first 20 minutes for the next 70. You see Dzeko chasing back, tackling. Can he keep that up? We know that Lukaku and Correa normally come on. But they're almost man-to-man marking the midfield, just they're chasing around after Gundogan, after Kevin De Bruyne, John Stones. Can they keep it up in this heat?
Jack Grealish starts to make the run. The problem Grealish has on this side, and you'd say the same about Bernardo Silva on the other, they're both quick, aren't they, the wing-backs, when they get back, whether it's Dumfries or DiMarco. And
they like to go the other way. They're almost challenging Jack Grealish and Bernardo Silva to say, come and follow me now.
See how high Dumfries is at the restart, right on the halfway line. Here's Edin Dzeko, the former Manchester City striker, on by Brozovic. Çalhanoğlu then challenged in there by Akanji. Manchester City have it back again now with Rodri, but he's caught in possession. They're so busy out of possession at the moment, the Italians, which is just disrupting the Manchester City rhythm. And even though they've got 60% possession, Steve, it's difficult possession, isn't it, for them?
Yeah, I'll say it again, aggressive, really quick, closing down. Leaving a little bit on the Manchester City players a lot of the time. Little kicks here and there. Getting away with it at the moment.
What I would say, it's still stiflingly hot inside the stadium. Sticky, it's close. Wonder whether that might be a factor at some stage. It's a very, very hot day here in Istanbul, and it's stayed very hot here in the first half of this one. Here's Gundogan, on by Rodri. Brozovic in there quickly, so is DiMarco. Referee happy for the game to carry on. John Stones for Manchester City. Gundogan coming in. Falls in here for Grealish. Ake trying to get there. DiMarco's down off the ball for Inter. They've got the possession back now.
Yeah, let's see if they
with Barella. Well, it's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be an Inter throw-in, and now they're going to check on DiMarco, the wing-back.
I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was a foul by Gundogan. Not wrong with DiMarco, is he stayed down like that, hoping the ball would get kicked out. There's no chance that's going to happen. It's not a head injury, there's nothing wrong with him. Gets across the ball, yeah, he just stamped on his foot a little bit, but see why the referee's just played on in the heat of the game. He's up and about, which is the most important thing.
Two tough competitors down there, Federico DiMarco, Bernardo Silva. Inter came through the toughest group that included Barcelona and Bayern Munich, Porto, Benfica and AC Milan were the teams they took care of in the knockout stages. Manchester City at the moment unbeaten in the Champions League so far in this campaign. Beaten only twice in any competition in the last 4 months. They've been outstanding. They've been a juggernaut in every sense of the word. Matteo Darmian. And here's Andre Onana. You wonder whether it's his last game for Inter tonight. A lot of clubs having a look at him. He's the man who's made the most saves in the Champions League so far this season.
Yeah, and you see Cesc said it early on. He was down pitch side. That they're more than happy to go long. Onana trying to put in DiMarco. Easily marshalled by the Manchester City defenders.
Grealish, Nathan Ake. Ederson with the ability to play long from inside his box. That's superbly taken by Stones, whose form in the last couple of months has been an absolute revelation. He was outstanding last weekend in the FA Cup final. But that's a foul there by Barella on Grealish.
Those little fouls. See Barella bumping into Jack Grealish, gets everybody behind the ball, makes City play backwards. So they will be trying to break up play as much as they possibly can.
Bernardo Silva. Here's Ake, on by Gundogan. Helped on then by Haaland to De Bruyne. Just lost his footing there as he was preparing to dart into penalty area. Gundogan then gets his head to the ball, but Edin Dzeko coming across, playing in his first Champions League final at the age of 37. It was good defending there for Manchester City by Ruben Dias. Given away there by Edison, and he went for goal there, Barella. He just spotted that Edison was in no man's land, and had that been a better strike, it could have been a problem. It would have had to be something special, but you could see Guardiola there, Steve. Just say relax.
Listen, this was on. This was on. Barella's better than that. It was a really poor effort. And that's a couple of little mistakes the goalkeeper's done.
It's the best goal-scoring season of Barella's career. Scored in both legs of the quarter-final when they famously beat Napoli, the Italian champions. He's a key man for them here in Istanbul. Grealish almost being marked down there by Inzaghi. Rodri. Little touch by Gundogan to De Bruyne. Off goes Haaland. Good play from Manchester City. Erling Haaland, good save on Thannada. Now Grealish. The best move we've seen so far from City. Rodri. Jack Grealish. Headed away in there by Denzel Dumfries for Inter. Bernardo Silva. Flicked it down towards Haaland, but that's behind from Kevin De Bruyne. But the initial move that set up the Haaland chance was what we've come to expect from City.
Yeah, best move of the match. Rodri turns, strides into midfield. Nice 1-2 into De Bruyne, who puts Haaland away. Good height, slightly difficult angle, but he gets enough power on it.
Just reaching for it a bit, wasn't he, Jolien?
Yeah, the pace of the ball was just a little bit ahead of it, but I don't think it could be played any slower in order to bypass the defence. But I think it's an example of Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne operating in a position just behind the midfield three of Inter Milan, but slightly deep enough so he draws the centre-backs out of Inter Milan, and that's where the space is created, and that's when the tempo is picked up and creating opportunities.
Marco finding Çalhanoğlu, but he's given the ball away. Bernardo Silva has it back, although Lautaro Martinez made the challenge. It's really good defending, though, by Ruben Dias. There's been like a Rolls-Royce back there in this Manchester City team this season. He brings Kevin De Bruyne into play. De Bruyne shoots. Well, we know he's got the ability to score from that kind of range, but that was far from his best.
Yeah, he does everything right, apart from it's just like deflection, just to take the power off. But I don't think it would have threatened Thannada. Better, just up the tempo. Manchester City, a bit more space on the attack now.
The Grealish press forced the error from Darmian. Grealish then plays the pass in, but too far in front of Bernardo Silva.
3-on-3 again at the back.
Barella bringing Inter forward. Here's Dzeko. It's a foul on him by Nathan Ake. He was at City for 3.5 years. Edin Dzeko, part of the squad that won the FA Cup in 2011, the first trophy under the current owners. Part of the first two league title successes as well. And while we see the Haaland chance, there's a problem down there for Kevin De Bruyne, and this is a big concern for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, it's always worrying. Sorry, Maka. It's always worrying, isn't it, when a player just sits down? He's obviously recognised it's something more serious than first thought. Hopefully he stays on, because this will be devastating. 2 Champions League finals, he's had to go off early.
Yeah, it would be incredibly unlucky for him. He's holding the back of his hamstring, isn't he, which does not look like a good sign at all. Phil Foden's out warming up. It's a terrible misfortune for Kevin De Bruyne if he is having to leave the field.
It's been the man to make the goals, hasn't he, for Manchester City this season? The most assists in the top 5 European leagues. We know just what a talismanic figure he is, and on a big night like this, when the going is tough, as it has been for Manchester City, you need your best players out there, Jolien.
Yeah, definitely. People that are able to, and players that are able to make the difference. Lucky enough to speaking to Stevie G earlier, and he was talking about he admires him for the responsibility he takes on himself, and we've seen that numerous times for Man City this season.
See the Inter supporters. I must say, Steve, we got here very early today, and they were here before us. I mean, the minute that they opened the gates, the Inter fans came in, the Manchester City fans took their time a little bit, but their end was pretty much full right from the start.
Yeah, what I would say is Phil Foden is fully stripped. He's ready to come on. Kevin De Bruyne is jogged back on, but Foden is ready. He's put his shirt on, clothes off. And in answer to your question, yeah, the Inter Milan fans were in 2-3 hours prior, making a huge amount of noise.
Well, the ball is being prepared down there. It does look as though Manchester City are going to need to turn to Phil Foden, who lost his place after having his appendix out while he was away with England, and he's had to watch this team roll over everybody in the final few weeks of the season, but maybe tonight could be his night right at the end of it all.
We've seen it before. People come on, make themselves heroes.
Here is De Bruyne. What can he do? Grealish felt he was coming back from an offside position.
Yeah, that pass from Kevin De Bruyne has just hindered him a little bit more, unfortunately. Taking chances, aren't they, playing out like that into Milan? Wow.
13 minutes to go in what's been an extremely tactical, and Cade with the opportunity to cross. And it's gone behind. And he's just signalling there, Kevin De Bruyne, and I think they're going to have to make the change. I mean, he's tried, Steve. He's tried as
you could see that
much
running,
as he can.
You could see that running cross, and he kept on running into the sort of the boards at the back, and you knew it was just a definite no. And you feel for him, don't you? He's had a wonderful season yet again, and to have to come off injured.
Heartbreaking for Kevin De Bruyne, who I think is trying to keep his emotions in check as he leaves the field here. As Jolien said, the second time he's had to leave early in a Champions League final. But what a player to bring on. I mean, Phil Foden is a match winner in every sense of the word.
Oh, 100%. Someone that loves the club, loves football. So, yeah, as devastating as this is for Kevin De Bruyne and Manchester City, Phil Foden is more than an adequate replacement.
You've got to feel for him, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. He must be devastated. As you said, he's trying to... He doesn't want the sorrow off his friends. Sorry, he just wants to get off the pitch. But hopefully there'll be more times for Kevin De Bruyne. Well, yeah, you don't like anybody coming off injured in any game, particularly of this magnitude.
It's a walk he didn't want to make, a decision that he didn't want to have to take, but of course it's next man up in a situation like this, and now the opportunity comes for Phil Foden. Don't forget, we're halfway through the weekend of champions with the iconic Le Mans 24-hour race underway right now on D+ and Eurosport. Tonight it's UFC 289 from Vancouver, MotoGP racing from the Grand Prix of Italy tomorrow, plus the men's final from Roland Garros. A relevant subscription is required. 0-0 here in the Champions League final between Manchester City and Inter. Closing down so well, and they tend to go with more than one, don't they? They're chasing Manchester City down in numbers.
You see Barella going late on Diaz, and then the goalkeeper just punting it forward. Fair play to Inter Milan. Inzaghi's done his homework. They've worked hard on it on the training ground, and they're holding firm this moment in time.
Was the most disappointed man in the Athletic tonight, Kevin De Bruyne. There were people, Jolien, who suggested this might be a walkover for Manchester City. They've been put in their place. Inter Milan have been outstanding so far.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before the game, I think Inter Milan was as comfortable as City.
Got a man over here in Denzel Dumfries. He's supported here by Barella. Just slowed the attack right down, didn't they, when they needed to be a little bit sharper there, Inter.
Look where they've gone with the ball now.
Here's Çalhanoğlu. It's a wonderful switch of play to Barella on the other side. Good defending by Ake. Damian. Brozovic.
It's the first time they've had a few passes of the ball in an advanced area.
But Macro, I think that was an example that Man City could learn from in regards to they have sustained pressure. It showed their lack of options. I think when it's transition and it's quick and it's fast, they're more instinctive and they have better outcomes. So I think if you just give them a little bit more possession, as strange as that may sound, you may have better outcomes from a defensive point of view.
They were big underdogs coming in internationally, but the longer the final stays like this, the more the confidence will grow, the more the belief will come in. And they've had that siege mentality, Steve, all week since they arrived here in Istanbul.
But I don't think we've seen anything that we thought that we didn't think they'd get. They were always going to be strong defensively. You know, they haven't really made a chance, but we knew that they'd be going to be hard to break down. The stats show that. It's whether they can sustain it for the 90 minutes. That'll be the big question. But Kevin De Bruyne going off would certainly help him as well.
That's a poor ball by Onana that brings the throw into Manchester City. Just a little bit more than 6 minutes to play in a first half where goal-scoring chances have been few and far between. It's been an extreme tactical battle out there between Inzaghi and Guardiola. Akanji. Everything City are doing at the moment has to be done quickly. Lovely ball by Ruben Dias to pick out Phil Foden. Here's Bernardo Silva.
Aggressive again, aggressive again.
Çalhanoğlu, the player, bringing the ball away now for Inter. Plenty of time there for Acerbi to take it down and then play it forward. It's going to be a throw-in though to Manchester City. There's a problem here as well for Acerbi.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration. Nothing in that at all, is there? You see the reaction from Acerbi.
He's the veteran in the group back there, isn't he? At 35, he's a cancer survivor. Back end of his career. The story, if you read it, is absolutely incredible. And here he is in the middle of this Inter back three in the Champions League final. He's been such a key performer for them all the way through. He's only on loan this season from Lazio. He's Simone Inzaghi's man. And he's reached a pinnacle of sorts tonight in his career. Diaz doing just enough. Lautaro Martinez was applying the pressure for Inter. Final 4 minutes of the first half. John Stones in possession. Really nice to Foden. Now Grealish. Phil Foden. Now Rodri. Ake. Gundogan.
Bernardo Silva's the one if DiMarco keeps on backing off all the time.
Bernardo Silva involved over there now, supported by Stones and by Akanji. Every Inter player at the moment is goal side of the Manchester City attack. They've been a very tight, solid and compact unit in this first half.
They're working ever so hard. Communication skills between this Inter side has been excellent.
Inter players chasing absolutely everything. Here's Gundogan, Manchester City's captain. Now Rodri. Nathan Ake. Fascinating battle down here between Dumfries and Grealish. And Grealish felt he was fouled. The referee agrees with that appeal. So free kick here to Manchester City, in a decent position if they can get the quality delivery into the box.
Yeah, it was a foul, wasn't it? Jack wanted a bit more, but he skips past Dumfries on his left foot, just drags him to the ground. He gets a straight kick to the head as well. But a good opportunity to get some quality into the penalty area now. See, they're clearly pulling the shirt down.
It's an opportunity for Manchester City to send Ruben Dias, Manuel Akanji into the penalty area. And Phil Foden, who's on to replace that man there, Kevin De Bruyne, is out to take the City free kick. All kinds of pulling and pushing and tugging inside that 6-yard box. Rodri looking to send it back in. And that's going to be a goal kick, and they dealt with that situation very comfortably, Inter.
The centre forwards for Inter Milan, Lautaro Martinez and Edin Dzeko, they're putting a real shift in defensively, aren't they? We know that once it gets to the 60-minute mark, that man in shot there looks to change them, looks to flip his centre forwards over, with Lukaku coming on, Correa coming on, trying to cause different types of problems.
Saw Simone Inzaghi there in Champions League terms. His brother Filippo has been the man in the family. 2 Champions League wins with AC Milan, and of course tonight he's trying to get his own on the board as well. Gundogan playing it forward, Foden helping it on, and then a Cherby there for Inter. There's Gundogan, Haaland looking to turn, but Bastoni quickly there to fill the gap and play back to Thannada. Header one there by Dzeko, and then the offside flag up against Inter. What do you think the half-time message is going to be from Pep Guardiola, Jolien, in the circumstances?
I think I've noticed him do it a few times out here now. I think he's going to be telling people to calm down, relax a little bit in possession, take the extra pass if needed, the extra touch if needed, because Inter obviously frustrating City by the press and the tempo of that, but I think if you get a few extra passes in, to be a bit more patient in the build, it may humble the approach of Inter Milan.
Yeah, they just need to keep the ball, don't they, Manchester City, and tire this Inter Milan team out if they can. City are not under really any threat, are they, defensively themselves? If they can dominate play and continue to dominate play, you hope that the little bit of fatigue will start to set in and they'll find a little bit more space in the second half. That's what normally happens, because people do tire. Fatigue will start to set in. Mentally, more space will happen. And you hope that they can exploit it. You just have to be really calm with the ball, not rush things.
It's John Stones into 2 minutes of additional time. Bernardo Silva running at Di Marco. Back out to Akanji. He's going to try his luck, Akanji. Power off the left foot, but just lacking the direction. See some of the
old Inter boys, Fabio Capello there, Materazzi, Marco, of course, Cambiasso, Julio Cesar. Out in their numbers, supporting their ex-team.
Talk about the amount of possession, whether Manchester City can dominate. 61%, Steve, in the first half, which is, of course, decent in the Champions League final, but it's not the kind of possession stats we've been seeing, which kind of outlines exactly what's been done by the opposition against them tonight.
Yeah, we probably think that it would be more, didn't we, I think?
Challenge made there by Dzeko. That's a Manchester City free kick. And there's half-time. And that's a difficult 45 minutes for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City. Closest they came to a goal was the Haaland shot that was saved by Thannada. Quiet first half for Erling Haaland. Chances hard to come by. Neither coaches made a change at half-time, so Inter starting the second half with the team that they started the final with. Of course, Manchester City losing Kevin De Bruyne significantly in the first half, so Phil Foden is on. What might just be worth mentioning, Steve, at this stage is the only other time the Champions League final has been played here, the goals were scored at the end, which is being defended by Andre Onana in the second half, and that might just be an omen here for Manchester City. It's also the end where their supporters are sitting or standing, depending on what they're doing down there. So you just wonder whether that history could repeat itself again tonight.
Yeah, let's hope. Inter Milan have sent 4 players out to warm up, including Romelu Lukaku and Mkhitaryan.
Here's Edin Dzeko. Varela was making the run. Akanji back over there for Manchester City, and then Ederson nice and calm in possession, as he always is. Here's John Stones. It's been difficult possession for Manchester City tonight, and it's been a real test in there for John Stones. He's done outstandingly well in the face of the press and the box and everything tactically that Inter Milan are doing tonight to be able to be as in control when he's in possession as he is.
He's arguably been the one who can get free. They did follow Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri and Gundogan around in that first half, and John Stones was the one who could just slip into a position and try and turn with the ball. It might be that way in the second half as well.
Stones. Both teams tonight playing in their home kit, which is nice to see. Manchester City, the designated home team in this Champions League final. Nathan Ake. Rodri. Swept on by Bernardo Silva. Dealt with defensively there by Bastoni. DiMarco is the player who's gone down. Now the referee's going to stop it to check on him.
Yeah, he's holding his face, but he's also holding the base of his spine, really. There wasn't much in it, of course there wasn't. DiMarco made a meal of it. Bernardo just stops his run. It was a little bit of an overreaction, wasn't it? Look, you see there, he just stops his run, allows the ball to drop. See what Pep thought of it. No surprise, he's up again, DiMarco.
Pep Guardiola with instructions for John Stones. There's Lautaro Martinez. Just on DiMarco, grew up an Inter fan. He's been an Inter fan, man and boy, living the dream tonight by playing for them in the final of the Champions League. Steve mentions the substitutions that Inzaghi may make. I mean, he could be as bold around the hour, Steve, to change both strikers and both wing-backs. He's not been averse to doing that. He likes to keep the team as fresh as he can, and that would be considered wholesale changes, but it wouldn't be against what Inzaghi tends to do.
No, not at all, no. Certainly the 2 forwards, we've seen them come on a lot, haven't we? There's no surprise to see Mkhitaryan there as well. And then trying to see who else it is. Gersons is down there, so they have all played recently, and they've all done a wonderful job. Well, this is not a surprise when he makes substitutions. This is very tactical. On a certain amount of time he makes the changes.
Defending here for Manuel Akanji to do, under pressure from Edin Dzeko. Applause from the manager. Alessandro Bastoni. There's DiMarco. Kanji there for Manchester.
Direct, I think obviously Inter are pressing very high and aggressive, so can they drop it into Haaland where they've had success throughout the season?
We saw on the night they beat Arsenal at the Etihad that you can play directly into Erling Haaland as a number 9. He'll play with his back to a defender and you can get out that way. Did it very well, didn't he, that night?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, also against Bayern Munich, they was able to do that, and they have the quality to play into win with quality, so again, that may be an opportunity there for City to get forward.
It still remains extremely hot inside the Ataturk Stadium. 11 local time. Now, is that a mistake in there that Manchester City can profit from? Bernardo Silva. It's good defending in there again. Acerbi was the man who was able to get the block in, and then DiMarco able to play the ball away. Little turnovers of possession like that, though, Steve, have been so few and far between, which is unlike Manchester City.
Yeah, it was certainly an error by Thannada, wasn't it?
Here's the captain, Gundogan. Ake. Grealish. Back here to Ruben Diaz. Now Rodri. Gundogan. Darmian stepping forward to be the one to challenge Gundogan, and that's a foul by Çalhanoğlu, just slightly too aggressive there.
It was a foul. He did well, Darmian. He nearly got away from Gundogan. He rescued the situation, but Çalhanoğlu comes in and just smashes into him. And now he's down. Let's hope he's okay.
See Gundogan back on his feet. It might be the final time we see him in a Manchester City shirt tonight, Jolien. If that is the case, what a signing Pep Guardiola's first signing turned out to be.
So consistent, so important. We talk about Haaland and Jack Grealish and in the greatest respect, the more glamorous names, but no more impactful than Gundogan, especially at this stage of the season every year.
Marco won it back. He's been outstanding so far tonight. Gets it back again from Barella. Here's Martinez. Gundogan went in and won it back, and that's a fair challenge, according to the referee. The Inter supporters furious.
Yeah, there you go. That's what Inter Milan do. Thou shalt not pass. If they don't get a foul, they're breaking up play. Çalhanoğlu tries to get Phil Foden, and if it wasn't for him, it was Darmian on Jack Grealish.
Free kick's been given to City. In the meantime, Martinez is still down at the other end. There he is.
We'll have to have a look at it again. He wasn't aware of Gundogan. If anything, he starts to lose possession, lets it run across his body. There's the Darmian foul on Jack Grealish then.
Well, you would say, Steve, when you see the two challengers, Gundogan got a piece of the ball, Darmian got nothing but Grealish.
Yeah. Well, the referee got it correctly, didn't he? He was fine.
So Foden and Grealish, two England men, over the free kick. Phil Foden's delivery, that's too deep for most of them in there. And despite his best efforts, Akanji unable to keep the ball in play. Kevin De Bruyne down there on the Manchester City bench, taken off in the first half with an injury. Such an impactful replacement as well, and I don't mean that detrimentally to Phil Foden, but when you take off one of your big players in a situation like this, it has to impact your team.
Oh, definitely. But if you're going to bring someone on, Phil Foden has the quality to impact this game and make a difference. And he plays with a slightly different energy to.
A good space here for John Stones. That's lovely footwork from John Stones. Here's Gundogan for Manchester City. Look at them swarm around the ball, though, the Inter players again. Grealish. Cleared as far as Stones once more. That's a lovely turn by Stones. No foul by Dzeko.
No.
Free kick is going to be given, though, here to Internazionale for the challenge on Martinez.
Yeah, you see Phil Foden, it didn't touch him. I think it may have been on.
I'm not sure I agree with that decision.
Çalhanoğlu, I think it may have been the 20. And he goes to ground here, there. Yeah. I mean, no wonder Phil Foden said I didn't touch him, because he didn't. Just dived across him.
It's the kind of night where Manchester City need to find that moment of brilliance. Yeah. They've been able to do it so often in this remarkable season for them. Here's Lautaro Martinez for Inter Milan. That's a fierce shot driven in by Çalhanoğlu, which is blocked. That was travelling. Here's Di Marco. The flick header in there by Manuel Akanji was important for Manchester City. That's going to roll out for the throw-in.
Yeah, the Inter Milan fans are up on their feet. trying to encourage the side. First time they've been in the final third, really, in this second half.
Here's Brozovic, now Acerbi. On it goes to Bastoni. Marcelo Brozovic. Dzeko down here, yeah.
Well, he's got cramp, he seems to have...
Well, they've got Lukaku immediately ready down below us. He's stripped and ready, and this is going to be his moment. Usually after 60 minutes, it's going to be after 56 tonight.
Yeah, and has he got a point to prove? Romelu Lukaku will probably be turning back up at Chelsea in a couple of months if nothing happens in the summer. Could this be his moment?
So Dzeko's night is over and Lukaku comes on. His form in league football for Inter in the final few weeks of the season really impressive. 14 goals in all competitions, 5 in 18 for the various clubs against Manchester City. But that's a different element that's on the pitch now for Inter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a suggestion before the game that he might start. He went with Dzeko, but you knew he was going to come on. You knew he's got a significant amount of time, and this is a different battle altogether, isn't it, that Ruben Dias is going to face. It's been excellent, Ruben Dias.
It's the first battle. Lukaku wins his header.
Oh, he's through.
Here's Dumfries whipping the ball in. Akanji got 2 or 3 to deal with, and he got his positioning just right. That's excellent defending by Akanji, Jolien.
Yeah, so important, that interception there by Akanji, but Ruben Dias is going to have to be a little bit more patient with Romelu Lukaku, a bit more respectful, because physically he's a match. Having experienced that myself, you can't be too greedy in regards to trying to win it too early.
Still 0-0. Here's Bernardo Silva. Jack Grealish up against Denzel Dumfries. Okay, into Stones. Everybody back by Lukaku in a defensive position again now for Internazionale. Akanji finding Rodri. Quickly on him was Brozovic. Akanji's going to leave it. Martinez is in. Trouble here for Manchester City. Good save by Ederson. Complete breakdown in communication between goalkeeper and defender, and they almost paid the price.
Oh, didn't they just? He really rescued the situation, Ederson.
That ball didn't go out. Phil Foden now for Manchester City. Haaland on the move. Well, Barella made the challenge. It's going to be a free kick. It's a yellow card, the first of the final for Barella. And a free kick here to Manchester City after they got away with one at the other end.
Yeah, they did. The only question is, should have Martinez passed to Lukaku? We'll wait and see. But yeah, breakdown in communication from the keeper to Akanji. And there's the challenge by Barella. There's a slight touch of the ball when Foden knocked it. Here we go. You have it. No, you have it. Let's see Lukaku's movement. No, there's probably Diaz and Rodri there.
Yeah, but again, it comes from the press from Inter Milan, forcing the errors, and that's what they've done all night. And again, that's something you can't prepare for. In all the tactical plan that Pep has in his head, you can't compensate for that.
The silent prayers from the manager might just have had an impact.
I mean, I think it was missing the shot, in all honesty, but Ederson didn't know and he had to make the save. But
Steve, when you see him go down like that, he fully expected his team to be behind at the end of it all.
This is what happens. Second half of games, fatigue sets in. Mistakes happen.
So free kick here for Manchester City after the foul on Foden, which is taken short here to Gundogan and whipped into the box and headed on, then headed over by Ruben Dias.
Just slightly behind him, wasn't it? He just couldn't arch his neck to get contact on it. Cleared away by Darmian, up towards Lukaku. This time the header won
by Manchester City's number 3, Ruben Dias. Akanji again just had to be sure there with Martinez sniffing around. I just wonder whether that last moment had just shaken his confidence
and
a wee
also,
bit.
Martinez didn't even go for it, expecting Akanji to control it. Again, he just needs to relax himself, Akanji, get back into the swing of things.
Here's Nathan Ake. Just past the hour mark in the Champions League final. Good run by Jack Grealish. Off he goes. Supported here by Stones. That's a heavy touch. Enabled Bastoni to win it back for Inter. Now the captain Brozovic. And now Dumfries. The other challenge here as well at the moment for Manchester City defensively is the extra mobility that Inter have now with Lukaku. He's going to move across the line a lot more than Dzeko did.
His ability to hold up the ball is better than that at Dzeko, isn't he? So
there's Haaland playing it forward. That's been the story of it so far tonight. When they've had that opportunity to play that kind of pass, it's just not quite been there.
Just starting to rush the pass a little bit. Didn't need to do that, Haaland. Could have had another touch and just played the ball across, but getting a little bit tense.
Francesco Acerbi, out it goes to Denzel Dumfries. Still 60% possession tonight for Manchester City, but not the kind of dominant possession that we're so used to seeing. It's just not leading to chances being created. And that's the challenge, Jolien, to change that.
Yeah, definitely. Again, possession stat you suspect and you anticipate from a City perspective, but where that possession is and how much of control they've got of that possession is the strange part for me.
Sometimes it's hard, isn't it, throughout a game to turn it up another notch, turn it up another level when the opposition has been so technically sound. We're just hoping that.
That's a good ball by Gundogan, and it just been a fraction higher. It would have been a ball that might well have got Haaland in. Çalhanoğlu's down for Inter, flicked on there by Brozovic towards Barella. Inter have the ball, and they've got options here. Brozovic in possession. Martinez plays it out now to Di Marco. And that's given the opportunity for Manchester City to get players back into defensive positions. Nicolo Barella. Brozovic. Here's Bastoni. Barella. Lukaku among those waiting for the cross. Gundogan gets his head to the ball. Dumfries helps it on. Di Marco was just trying to move in behind there. Important defending inside his own penalty area there by Diaz. And then cleared away towards Haaland, who's challenged quickly by Darmian. Here's Rodri. A little bit of space now on this side for Bernardo Silva, and he's got the overlap as well here from John Stones. Stones able to whip it in, and that's steered behind by Bastoni. It's a City corner, but those kind of attacks have been few and far between, Steve, where they've had room to operate in.
Yes, they have. They win the ball back. Çalhanoğlu gives the ball away in City break. It was a wonderful position. Haaland takes up a lovely position at the far post. John Stones elects to go just along the floor, cut out for a corner. Just starting to open up slightly the game, little tiny bit more space.
So Haaland takes up station inside the 6-yard box of Inter. Jack Grealish out to take the City corner. Flare up there involving Stones and Bastoni.
Yeah, a little come together. You see he puts his head into him. All fun and games.
Still plenty of contact between the pair of them. Grealish whips it in. And the referee's then going to give the free kick against Manchester City.
See John Stones and Bastoni still having another go. He was waiting to give it though, wasn't he? Marquinhos, you could see. It's 6-1 really, and he gives it for that foul.
I think they're the frustrating ones, those two, because the initial contact was instigated by Bastoni, and the referee's clearly looking at it.
He knew he was going to give it as well, and there was only one way he was going to do it. It was defensively.
Goes towards Lukaku. Nathan Ake with time to get the ball under control. 25 minutes to go in the Champions League final. Extra time and penalties if needed here inside the Atatürk Stadium in Istanbul. Over 70,000 in here tonight, still very warm. And chances still very difficult for both of these teams to create. There hasn't been what you consider to be an outstanding clear-cut chance for either of them yet. The best of the second half was the breakdown in communication between goalkeeper and defender that led to Martinez having the opportunity for Inter. Stones onto Bernardo Silva. Brozovic in there on Stones, that's the foul. I mean, the two wing-backs have been brilliant, haven't they, for Inter tonight? Dumfries on the right, DiMarco on the left.
Allow Manchester City to play inside the field where they have the numbers. I like there, Brozovic just brings John Stones down, kills the game, no yellow cards, get everybody behind the ball and let's start again. Clever tactics if you can get away with it.
They've just beaten for strength, but he gets onto that ball, and here he is, playing it through. That's outstanding, defended by Bastoni. Just when they got Foden in a really good position, Bastoni was in exactly the right place for Inter.
Yeah, like Ruben Diaz has been, Bastoni's been excellent.
Foden. Nathan Ake. Now Rodri. Off goes Bernardo Silva, tracked all the way though by DiMarco. Ake leaves it here for Grealish. Looking for Foden inside the box. Brozovic, the captain, back there to fill the gap. Gundogan looking to make something happen for his team. Now Foden. Really good defending again by Brozovic, who chased Foden out. Here's a Akanji for City. That's a lovely little ball in. Bernardo Silva, tight angle, pulls it back. Coming onto it now to shoot. Yeah! Score! Rodri! Manchester City lead in the Champions League final. And that's a huge, huge goal for Rodri. And the Manchester City supporters have gone absolutely mad. Such a big goal, such a big moment. And Manchester City take a giant stride towards the treble. What a big moment.
Oh yes, Rodri steps up to the mark. Sheikh Mansour seems happy. First game in, 13 years, and they work it really well. Akanji puts in Bernardo Silva, pulls the ball back, falls perfectly to Rodri. Cool as you like. He's not thrashing the ball, he just opens his body up on his right foot and almost curls it. Look at this angle. Have some of that. Just a round Darmian goalie, no chance.
What a finish from Rodri. Scored his first ever Champions League goal in the quarter-final first leg against Bayern Munich. Jolien Lescott, he's never scored a bigger goal for Manchester City than that one.
I don't think anyone has, to be honest, Fletch. I think that's a huge goal for this club's history and going forward the future. But the composure he showed. But again, Akanji driving forward and just a delicate pass there to Bernardo Silva as well.
They've been a team all season that always finds a way. Yeah. And when they needed to find a way tonight against the most stubborn of opposition in Internazionale, they stick at it, they create the opportunity, and Rodri steps in to do that.
Yeah. And he's the person you would like, wouldn't you? Very calm, very composed on the pitch. And once it falls, just opens his body. It's a lovely finish, delicate finish to break the deadlock. And you now think that they'll have to do something different into Milan. They'll have to play further forward.
Well, it's the Manchester City supporters you can hear, and it's that end of the Atatürk Stadium in a Champions League final again. All 7 goals have been scored in that goal in this stadium in Champions League finals. DiMarco's ball in is defended. Here he is again. Now Brozovic. Header came in from Çalhanoğlu, and then Dumfries was challenging. Lukaku's in there. Di Marco there as well. Oh, it's in the bar. Di Marco hits Lukaku, I think. Still not clear. It will be now.
He does it, Lukaku.
How on earth did they not equalise Inter? An astonishing passage of play.
Incredible. He can't believe it. 2 headers, one off the bar, one onto his teammate.
I'm not built for these co-coms, Fletch.
I'm starting
Turn
to
away, mate. Turn away.
I'm starting,
There we go.
I'm starting to worry for Jolien. Talk us through it, Steve.
I mean, he just slips on the backside of Akanji. Gets a little bit of fortune, of course they do, and then he heads it against Romelu Lukaku, who can't believe it. Just a dinked header, but look at the height. That's what saves Manchester City. Goalkeeping floundering, and then that. Maybe Ruben Dias may have cleared off the line, you never know, but what a passage of play.
That's what you need. You need bits of luck. It's better to be lucky than good in these occasions, and that is so important to the outcome of this game.
Well, there's treatment here being administered to Manuel Akanji as we see this opportunity again. I mean, the block by Lukaku is the most important block by anybody for Manchester City in a European final. You can laugh now, Jolien.
I mean, Akanji doesn't know where Di Marco is. He's shepherding Lukaku away from the ball. He just comes sneaking in behind him. He's off Bernardo Silva. Small margins.
They can't believe it. I'm not sure we could either.
Oh. I do think he took the wrong option, though, Di Marco. I think if he heads it down, it causes way more problems than a looping header. I think he has the opportunity to just put a bit more.
The looping header was the harder effort, wasn't it? He had to be incredibly accurate.
Well, Kyle Walker, who was heartbroken not to be included from the start, is going to be needed now to try and get Manchester City over the finish line. 18 minutes to go. And if you need defensive help, there is nobody better to be coming onto the field here than Walker. So City 1, Inter 0, the first goal scored in a European final for Manchester City since Francis Lee's penalty in the Cup Winners' Cup final of 1970. And Manchester City haven't lost from a winning position since mid-January in the Manchester derby, and they've only lost once from a winning position all season. They're fantastic front runners, and as Steve says, Inter now have to find a different way to play because they can't just sit back now.
Can't sit back.
Here's Martinez. Yes, they are. Lukaku. Lukaku shoots straight at Ederson. And that's a big sigh of relief from behind Onana's goal at the end of the Ataturk. And that needed to be a better finish in that situation from Lukaku.
Yeah, he just shifted it and hit it, didn't he, through the legs of Ruben Dias. It just takes a little deflection, take the pace off it. But that's a couple of efforts in the last few minutes for Inter Milan. Are they going to leave a bit of space for the Manchester City forwards?
Jolien, I've got good news and bad news for you. Manchester City are less than 17 minutes away from a European title and a treble, but it's going to feel like 17 hours.
As long as we win, Fletch, I don't mind.
I thought you'd say that. Just see one or two bits of frustration creeping in down there among the Inter players as well. Here's Haaland. It was good defending in the end, though, by Matteo Darmian, and now here's Acerbi. It's astonishing, really, Steve, that some teams just have the knack to find a way.
Yeah, but when you're blessed with that much quality throughout the sides, you normally find a way.
That's on by Lukaku, but that's going to be Ederson's ball. He's playing his 56th game of the season tonight, Rodri. Every time they need him, he's there. He's not always a man to pop up with a goal, but when it matters, he was the one that had the courage and the ability to do what Manchester City so desperately needed.
Yeah, ever present, ever consistent. I don't think anyone thought his contribution was going to be that tonight, but so important and arguably up there with the Sergio Aguero goal history of this club if they go on to win this and sustain the treble.
City have players forward here. It's with Bernardo Silva. That's a foul by Di Marco. Walker ready for Manchester City if Guardiola thinks the time is now.
Yeah, Kanji's coming off. Played his part, didn't he? That lovely ball through to Bernardo Silva for the cutback. Didn't rush his pass, didn't do anything silly, took his time, played him through. He certainly played his part tonight.
Well, it would have hit him like a sledgehammer when he saw the team, and he would have seen that his name wasn't in it, Steve. But now he comes on with 15 minutes to go with a big job to do. In fact, he's not going to come on just quite yet, is he?
No, Pep just wants Manchester City to play out this free kick, I think, and then Kyle will come on. It's Inter Milan going to make the changes. Bastoni, who looked out on his feet just then, is coming off for Gersons.
Well, that's the first change, and they're also, I think they're going to send on Bellanova,
Yes,
Raul Bellanova, and he's coming on for Denzel Dumfries. So Bellanova for Dumfries, and Robin Gersons for Bastoni, with 14 minutes to go. And they'll just hold fire on the change for now, Manchester City. And in fact, they might be considering someone else as well. In fact, they've just called Walker back again. He just jogged off down the touchline to warm up a little bit more. City's free kick taken by Gundogan. Here's Jack Grealish. Bernardo Silva. Gundogan. Grealish up against Bellanova for the first time since he came on. Here's Akanji, and now Bernardo Silva.
And now they can do what they do best and keep the ball. Let Inter Milan chase, let Inter Milan make mistakes.
It's a scoreline that makes good reading if you're a Manchester City supporter. Rodri after 68 minutes. Here's Phil Foden on the move. Phil Foden saved! Well, that's a vital save for Thannada, but what an opportunity for Foden. The initial little burst and the bit of skill to get him away was outstanding.
Outrageous play there from Phil Foden, and again, probably unique to him, only something he could probably do in the midfield, so hence why Pep brought him on when Kevin needed to go off.
It's a gorgeous drag, wasn't it? Just steps to the side and drags it. I mean, Haaland played his part as well, wiping out a Cherry, I think it was. Phil just telegraphed it slightly, didn't he? Opened it up onto his left foot. And Thannada made a comfortable save, but lovely play by him. Did all the hard work himself.
Robin Gersons onto Lautaro Martinez, given away though. Struggling to keep the ball a little bit now. Inter under pressure. Foden now finding Bernardo Silva. Here's Nathan Ake. Now Jack Grealish. Grealish jumping Darmian, winning his header. Now Çalhanoğlu. Di Marco. Up it goes towards Lukaku. That's a lovely flick. It's with Bellanova. And that's good defending on that side by Grealish. They'll settle for the corner here, Internazionale.
Yeah, nice flick by Lukaku, clever. Here's the chance again. Just tries to place it past Thannada.
Just some presence that Thannada in goal, isn't he?
Isn't he? Just couldn't generate the power, could he, really? So he had to open his body up to try and place it.
Cherdy is in the box, Darmian in there, Lukaku an obvious danger. It's a good header by Haaland in there, picked up now by Brozovic. Çalhanoğlu with time, it's not a very good ball, they'll get another chance here. Barella can whip it in, and that was always covered by Ederson.
It's an awful ball by Çalhanoğlu. Here's the goal, ball from Akanji. There's a beautiful angle. Doesn't need to thrash it.
He's got such a small space, hasn't he, to thread the ball through.
See how he opens his body up when he strikes the ball. His right foot's almost at a right angle. He's always just curling into that near post. Calm as you like.
Here is the man of the hour, the hero of the hour, Rodri, giving it to Stones. Grealish gets onto that for Manchester City. Plays it through here for Foden. On it goes to Haaland. They're swarming around the ball in there to try and keep them out. Foden gets a foot in. Bernardo Silva. Super play from him.
It's a foul, isn't it? They can't resist it, can they?
Yeah, no patience there.
But none at all. He's running away from the goal to the touchline, and he has to bring him down, Brozovic. He cannot resist it.
But that's an example of bravery and responsibility, just taking the sting out of the game by keeping possession and then just drawing in the foul.
Pensive looks on Internazionale faces. Time running out for the Italians. Less than 10 minutes away from the Champions League and the treble, Manchester City. Free kick taken by Bernardo Silva, and that's a comfortable take in there by Onana.
And John Stones is down. Look at what happened.
A ripped shirt.
Yeah, wow. Let's say that again, a ripped shirt. Had to be a chair, surely, did it? Well, Stomney's off. Let's have a look. I know it's Gosens. There wasn't that much actually in it, was there? I don't know how the shirt happens.
He's going to need a new one of those. I think he should be okay, though. Kyle Walker ready again. There's been a fascinating little cameo that you've not been able to see between manager and substitute. I think Guardiola's been a little bit upset that he's not been able to get Walker on. And in actual fact, Kyle Walker's been calming down Pep Guardiola about the situation. It's been fascinating, but he's on now, and he's on for John Stones. And Manchester City have got 8 minutes here to get themselves over the finish line and make history. How are you feeling?
Nervous. A lot more nervous than I should feel. Get more nervous now than when I played.
Well, you can't do anything about it. It's out here, can you?
But a word on John Stones. I think, see, the last few months has been outstanding, but tonight, when it wasn't going so well in the first half and early in the second half, he just took the responsibility on himself to drive forward, get into areas of... Yeah.
Look at the reaction from the bench.
Incredibly brave, wanted the ball all the time, regardless of the press from Inter. And a lot of the time, he was the free body in midfield. Again, really good performance from him.
Every tick of the clock is a positive tick for Manchester City. It's going to be a yellow card as well to Lukaku.
Frustration that'll happen as the game gets closer to the end. That'll happen more and more.
Spoke last week about it being 43 years since West Ham won a trophy. We talked about the trophy they won in Europe back in the mid-70s. 1970, 53 years ago. The one and only time that Manchester City have had their hands on European silver, and the greatest trophy of them all is 6.5 minutes away. Interchanges coming. Darmian is being taken off. Çalhanoğlu is being taken off as well. And they're sending on D'Ambrosio and Henrik Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, let's throw with the dice in it. Get them all on now. Five substitutions from Inzaghi used now. It's a nice ball.
Really good ball to Foden, who can pull it back towards Haaland. They'll get the corner. Manchester City.
Yeah, the Hammers did it a couple of days ago. Can Manchester City join them with a European trophy? It will be the 3 Italian teams losing in the final. Which is disappointing for, of course, the country.
5.5 minutes to go. A second goal for Manchester City now surely would make sure. It's a good take though by Onana. Got to start throwing caution to the wind. Inter at the moment, time is very much against them, and this is where Manchester City, as you said, Steve, are so good at just keeping the ball and managing the situation. Here's Gundogan. Varela was across there chasing. That's a throw-in for Inter. Onana to Lukaku. On it goes now to Mkhitaryan. Had the chance to play it forward to Martinez, but didn't take it. Goes in there now from Robin Gersons and flashes through the box and out for a throw-in on the other side. I wonder if he can have his time back again. He might just play that ball into the run of Martinez.
Absolutely, it was an awful ball. Inzaghi clapped him, but he shouldn't have. Absolutely fizzed it in. High, wide and handsome onto the far side of the pitch. It was a nice move from Lukaku to Mkhitaryan.
Time there for Gundogan, cleared away by Ake. Four minutes to go. City have it now with Gundogan. Grealish. Last touch was a Grealish touch. He says it should be a City throw-in, but referee's given it the other way. Here's Mkhitaryan for Inter. That's good defending on that side, though, by Ake. Phil Foden challenged by Henrik Mkhitaryan. That's a free kick, an Italian free kick. Still work to do. Acerbi. Now Di Marco. Brozovic. I think they're off Bernardo Silva. Kyle Walker wins his first header, picked up now by the goal scorer Rodri. He's got his own chapter now in Manchester City folklore and history. The Spanish international. Robin Gersons, though, for Inter. Now Barella. Inzaghi's on the pitch down there. He's trying to get as close to the action as he possibly can. Lots of nerves inside the Ataturk Stadium. Robin Gersons. Barella. Mkhitaryan. Wait for the cross in the middle. It'll come now from Gersons. It's a deep one. It's too deep for everybody. Kept alive here by Bellanova. Still they wait in the middle. Brozovic flicks it in. Gersons coming in. Gets it. Oh, what a save!
Save goal!
What a save!
Oh, my.
That's an unbelievable save from Ederson. An amazing moment for the Manchester City goalkeeper. Has that moment just secured the Champions League?
I don't even know he knew he saved it. I think it just bounced off his leg.
I don't even know what happened there.
I think it was Lukaku with a header. Back from Gersons. Lukaku, point-blank range.
Manchester City survive again. Survived for the second time since taking the lead. In goes the Inter corner. And now they've got the chance just to take a breath. And we can get to see that again because it happened so quickly.
Let's have a look. Cross by Brozovic. Gersons far post in. Lukaku. Oh!
It is a save. It's an outstanding bit of goalkeeping.
Off his legs.
Outstanding.
How has he missed this? Oh, it's just bounced off his knee.
What a header from Diaz as well, because it's so awkward for him to twist.
Oh.
Great reactions there from both Diaz and Ederson.
That is incredible.
Unbelievable. It's even more incredible than the Lukaku block from Di Marco.
How has he not scored from there, Lukaku? What a moment for him in an Inter shirt.
Starting to feel like City's night, Jolien.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'll take all the luck.
Yeah, sometimes you need a little bit, mate. One off the crossbar, one off a kneecap there from the goalkeeper. Be interesting to speak to him to see if he knew a lot about it.
Do you know, he did actually move the knee, didn't he? Went towards it. I mean, it's astonishing.
That's because you have to move your feet.
I know, but you see goalkeepers stood rooted, don't you, sometimes? Here's Lukaku. Shot by Lukaku, but they'll take that, Manchester City. They will take that.
Absolutely, they'll take a shot like that. Really selfish going away from the goal, dragging it back. And it's a difficult shot, that, isn't it, to score? But no thought at all about pass.
It is the kind of night where you need more than one hero, and Manchester City have had a couple of them. Rodri with the goal and Edison with that save. It's remarkable.
He can't believe it. It's got Lucio there with Materazzi. They cannot believe it. Claude Makelele sitting next to him.
Haaland battling for it. City have got it with Gundogan and then Rodri.
Just keep it down in that corner flag, Jack.
Was that as good a save as, or better? Or how do you rate that against Dudek in the same goal in 05?
Against them, yeah.
Yeah, it's that goal.
Yeah, it's was it Shevchenko, yeah? Off his knee, same goal.
Yep. The yellow for Haaland, yellow for Thannada. Both iconic saves in this stadium in the Champions League, and it's mad that the goals have gone in at the same end in both finals as well. A little bit more than 3 minutes of stoppage time for history, for a treble, for the first ever Champions League win for Manchester City, for all of that hard work, for the players who came before. They can almost see the finish, yet they know that there still might be a moment and they've got to get through.
100%. The recent history was built on one moment, so I'm sure the fans, especially the players, are aware that it's not over yet in regards of the scoreline. So when the referee blows the whistle, then we can celebrate.
It's never easy in the Champions League. It is never easy.
That's a foul, that's a little push, that's an opportunity for Inter to get the ball into the Manchester City box again, and there is still time. 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, Nana wants to go up. Zaghi says no.
നടക്കുന്നത് ഇവിടെ നിലകലും രണ്ടേശകാരാണ് ടീമാണ്. രണ്ടേശനെ വിളിക്കുകയാണ്.